offers locations that you'd never see on television, just different terrains. When we wrote the original story for Hercules, we said it was green pastures and rolling hills. And there's nowhere that really has the primordial and inviting feel of New Zealand.
And it's this exotic look that helped set the stage for 5 extraordinarily popular television movies, chronicling Hercules' mythical journeys.
We've never really reveled in the success of it. We've kind of looked at it as additional pressure to come up with new ways and better ways to entertain the audience, both dramatically and with better stories, better monsters, and with good morals.
They're family, too.
Real fast, guys.
Spurred on by the success of the action-packed movies, Hercules, the TV series, exploded onto the scene as the biggest first-run syndicated hit since Baywatch.
It's amazing. Look what this thing has done in less than 3 years. It's fun to be able to play somebody that will stick his face in somebody else's business, but only does it in a good way. He doesn't do it to try to be a jerk or be a busybody. He does it if people want his help. He helps.
Most importantly is probably that we tell interesting little stories that everyone can relate to, and they have action and adventure, and they're set in a different world. And when they first came on television, I don't think there was anything quite like them.
I'm the Princess Annika, daughter of Ramses III, Pharaoh of Egypt.
Big title. And this must be your royal welcome wagon.
It was the only way for me to make sure that you were the right one.
The right one for what?
Find my mummy.
Your mommy?
Not my mommy, my mummy.
I think we found more and more humor within the character and within the characters in the show as each movie went by, and then once we hit the series, we had a pretty good idea where we wanted to go with it. Don't go anywhere.
Each week, both Xena and Hercules' adventures unfold through an exciting mix of state-of-the-art special effects, hair-raising stunts, and breathtaking locations.
The show that we've mounted down here has been a mammoth undertaking, to say the least.
Hercules is here. The villagers will come up. If they think he's a bandit,
We have 8 days of shooting and another 8 days of second unit, and it really makes a big difference. It allows us to fill out the fights and give a lot more production value.
To stop me is going to eat my soul.
Families say we let our children watch the show because of the morality value in it, that there is a lesson to be learned from each show. I believe you took something that doesn't belong to you. I always make a joke to the production office that we had to go back over 2,000 years to find a hero for the 90s.
Kevin Sorbo almost missed out on his legendary opportunity. He never thought a mere 6'3", 220-pounder could fill the sandals of Hercules. But with a little prodding from his agent, Sorbo auditioned for the role.
When I was first approached for the role of Hercules, I have to be honest, I laughed. Hercules! I told my agent, I said, look, people are going to expect your typical Arnold Schwarzenegger, steroid, 260-pound behemoth, and it's a general public's perception, I think, of what Hercules is supposed to be about. And I read the script, and I fell in love with it. I like this will protect me.
We wanted somebody that was inviting and fun and a good guy, basically. And we didn't want to go with the old-fashioned Hercules of a real muscle guy. We used as our reference Joe Montana. We wanted a quarterback, somebody that you could feel you could sit and talk to. And Kevin probably came in the room number 4 out of 150 people, and we dragged him back like 6 times in casting, but there was never really any other person in the running. He was always our number 1 choice.
Well, they're going to watch me disrobe now. Is that this whole thing about? Quit pulling my chest hairs. I think there's a lot of me within the character. I think most actors, if they're honest, would say that about any character they play. I mean, certainly you want to step outside yourself, because I like putting other shoes on. That's what makes acting fun. Oh, aren't they tired of fighting?
Well, we ain't here to fight. Let's get 'em, girls.
I think people should take Hercules with the tongue is firmly planted in the cheek with Hercules. I mean, it's even the fight scenes. There's always that wink with it. It is a fantasy to play Hercules. Sure. It's, I mean, you know, I'm the kid that got, you know, gets that last second shot in the basketball game and wins the NCAA championship. It's a neat place to be. I can't complain.
Hurst plays the sidekick role of Ialaus.
We have an expression in this country. It's called something can be, if something's really kind of humorous or funny, it's a bit of a dag.
And when it comes to the native jargon, he's an expert.
A dag is the congealed droppings which collect around the long wool around a sheep's ass. And there's a conversation in New Zealand that I've had that goes like this. Geez, you're a bit of a dag, mate, on the whole sheep's bum.
As you can see, Michael's a pretty funny guy.
Don't start with me.
And that personality is infectious, especially when he gets together with Kevin Sorbo.
I love working with Michael.
Yeah, we love working together. We're pals.
We're pals, yeah.
And that's a good thing, since Michael's character has a very close relationship with Hercules.
Be careful, Ialaus. Careful, guys. Fantastic, aren't they? Ow! Hercules is half mortal, half immortal, and Ialaus is all mortal. I'm the one that can make mistakes. I'm the one that can fall in love endlessly, be lured away by wicked women.
Ialaus.
Oh. Not, would you?
Of course not.
But, you know, subject to all the jealousies and whims, because then we have somewhere to go. I mean, sometimes I can look at Hercules and he's right, but I'm going, wait a second, you're not right, you know, and all that. So. Yeah. But he's a nice guy. And funny. Oh, man.
She's just taking the mic off of me.
Very
It feels really good, though. Michael and I, we are still kids. And I think it's just something we still enjoy doing and want to keep doing. And I'm going to keep doing it until, well, hopefully nothing bad happens.
There's nothing else like it, I don't suppose, and people like swords and muscles and cleavage and things like that, but it is the humorous take on it that really helps it.
Ladies?
He's so gallant.
Oh, yeah. Kevin! Hi.
Is there a reason why his interview's longer than mine?
Despite their on-set shenanigans, these guys do get serious when the cameras roll.
Hercules, it doesn't matter how Braxis got here. The point is, he is killing our friends. We've got to stop it.
They're getting butt shots right now?
But they're never too serious.
No butt shot.
But, no buts, but, no buts.
No buts about it.
The changing world of special effects makes it possible for guys sitting here in California to talk to guys in Albuquerque, to show it to the DP down on the set in New Zealand, because we're all linked on the internet.
It's the use of this state-of-the-art technology that allows the Xena and Hercules production teams to constantly push the envelope in an ever-changing special effects world.
We're doing more complicated things. We're trying to get how to get people on the backs of giant birds and all these things that no one's doing. So we keep digging harder and harder to what can't they do.
The first step in creating these cutting-edge characters actually takes place down on the set in New Zealand.
It becomes one of the great elements of acting, where you have to stand there on an empty set, you know, and stare at what might possibly be just a stick with a box on top of it representing, you know, the green-eyed monster.
We have gotten better at communicating how the creature's going to look, where they're going to be, how I'm supposed to be fighting and where I'm supposed to be looking. It's interesting. It brings back a make-believe aspect.
We'll block out the sequence with this particular object, which kind of looks silly on tape, you know, but we all know that by the end of this process, that stick and box will be replaced by a creature of some note.
Well, now you do.
I'll do the scene with the actual actor, but with camera angles and things like that, he is filmed from the waist up, obviously. And then they will bring the horses in to work the same areas that he walked through, and they bring the actor into the blue screen and have him, I don't know, you're getting technical on me now, so bring in Kevin O'Neill.
Once the blue screen photography is shot and we make a select from that, the process begins in the computer. We make selects of each background and blue screen element. We then take those and scan those into the computer, where they're sent off to our artist Kevin Kuchever. We then
place the blue screen element of the actor on top of where the horse's head was, and go through an arduous task of match moving and keeping those two elements locked together, the man on top of the horse.
Just for a beat. It's just wang and then get into it.
Sometimes, creating believable monsters requires blending mechanical and computer effects. So what you see at home requires advanced preparation, multiple takes, and for the actor, a lot of imagination.
They had the tail, probably the last third of it, and they had the head, which was all they had for the creature. And for the most part, I fought nothing. I fought the air. I grabbed the tail once, I grabbed the head once in a little hammerlock, headlock sort of all-star wrestling kind of mode, but beyond that, they had nothing there to play with.
Through it all, it's amazing that the actors and effects crew managed to stay in sync. And that's just one of the things that makes producer Rob Tapert's job such a challenge.
End of the road, Hercules. We are not Shakespeare, but we do understand how to utilize effects and action to make a hero bigger than life.
It is a fantasy to play Hercules. Now that I'm actually on these sets and fighting things that don't even exist and beating up the bad guys and winning, it's fun.
If it doesn't eat us, it'll kill us with its breath.
The biggest difference between Hercules and Kevin Sorbo is that he's a lot braver than I am.
Being half god and half man may give Hercules a bit of an edge over the competition. But actor Kevin Sorbo has his work cut out for him.
The show keeps you very active, and I work out every single day. I mean, besides the 12 to 14 hours a day that we work on the set, I go to the gym before or after 5 days a week, if not 6, and it's a stress reliever.
And after a tough morning workout, Kevin is ready for anything that the creative team can throw at him, even skeletons.
I had to fight 50 guys in a temple. They all had double swords, and I had a torch to pick them all on with. How's the hair?
To give Hercules the skills needed to protect those long locks, the producers turned to martial arts master Doug Wong.
They brought, basically a kung fu martial arts training to the character of Hercules, which I don't think, something that would be associated with his character. So it's, I'm the David Carradine of the 90s. I'm their rambling, roaming guy, grab the whatever from my butterfly from my hand or whatever the heck he used to say. Boy, it's been a while since I've done this. Look at that little one there. Show me how to do this.
But he picked it up in 5 to 6 weeks. And I was pushing.
Something like this? That's not right. Something doesn't seem right. He taught me a lot about fighting with staffs, fighting with swords, basically taking falls. I do most of my own stunts, and I prefer it that way. I enjoy it. For me, that's the biggest kick of the whole show.
Back on the set in New Zealand, Kevin puts his newest martial arts skills to the test.
Every fight, whether it's a little crack in the fingernail, oh poor baby, or whether it's a big bump or a bruise. I mean, every fight we get something. That can't be helped. That comes with, doing your own stunts, and that comes with wanting to do your own stunts and still having an ego, think you're good enough to do them. But we go for it anyway. So, I still think I'm 21.
I couldn't do all my own stunts because, A, some of them are too dangerous. B, we just don't have time. So if you don't see my face, there's a good chance it's not me.
Post-production is not only about what you see on the screen. What you hear is just as important. At Digital Sound and Picture, sound design is an essential element in creating the worlds of Hercules and Xena.
When you shoot the film, you basically record the actors talking, and that's it. Everything else that you hear on the final broadcast is recreated in post-production. Looping, or as it's otherwise known as ADR, which is automated dialogue replacement, is the replacement of production dialogue.
I was home at Christmas time. I walked into one of the local stores there, and it was a Target, I guess, and I saw all these boxes with my face on it and all these toys, and I just cracked up.
When I see my kid sitting there playing with it, that's kind of fun. It'll be nice for the grandchildren.
It's a very strange feeling. It's to be in a thermos and boxer shorts are coming out, so I was like, so where do you put my face on those things? I think the romance is there. The action's there, the special effects are there. You know, the sorcery, the wizardry, the magic, and I think they move along at a good pace, and I think it's entertaining.